This is a recap of today's QQQ session, March 31st, 2026. Today, the system show exactly why structure and discipline matter more than patterns. We had two fake out VWAP breakdowns, three go-long signals with different scores, and a full-on positions that capture an 8-point QQQ rally. Let me walk you through the entire sequence. Now, before we get into the VWAP Wick Absorption and the big move of the day, I want to show you how the system handled the early signals, because this is where discipline really matters. The first go long fire early in the morning with a very low score. The score is actually at 0. That's basically an early probe, low conviction, low structure. Price push up a bit and then reverse. Later, the system fire a second go long, slightly better but not a strong setup. And we exited with a 50 cents loss. Now here's the important part. Both losses were small. Both exits were disciplined, and the system did not hesitate or get emotional. It stayed mechanical. It stayed consistent. It waited for the real structure. And that discipline is exactly what set us up for the third go long, the one that's really matter. Now let's look at the first major turning point. Price pull back and close below VWAP. It prints 3 consecutive red candles. Let me zoom in so we can see this. Here it is. 1, 2, 3 consecutive red candles, and then the price closed below VWAP. On the surface, this looks like a clean VWAP rejection, the kind retail traders short all the time. But look at the first two candles. They both have longer, lower wick. That's not really selling. That is absorption. Buyers sitting underneath, letting sellers push down just to fill the order. So even though the third candle closes below VWAP, the system did not fire go short. Instead, it fired VWAP Wick block or VWAP Wick absorption, meaning don't short this. The wick behavior shows buyers defending. This is likely a liquidity grab, not a real breakdown. And sure enough, price snapped right back up and closed above VWAP. That was the first trap avoided. A few minutes later, we got almost the exact same pattern. Another 3 candles pushed down, price closed below VWAP. Another moment where retail traders jump in short. But again, look at the wicks. The first 2 candles show the same absorption behavior. Long lower wicks, buyers stepping in, sellers failing to push through. And again, the system fire VWAP wick block or VWAP wick absorption. 2 fake down, 1, 2, 2 liquidity grabs, 2 traps avoided. It's accumulation, it's positioning, it's the market loading up for a bigger move. After the second absorption event, price reclaimed VWAP. Big momentum. You see this very large green candle. bust through with strength. Volume increases, momentum shift, the imbalance flips from seller control to buyer's control. This is where the system fired the third go long of the day. Score 6, solid, full position go long. Why the score was high? We have two confirmed liquidity grabs. Buyers defended the same zone twice. VWAP reclaimed with conviction. Momentum alive, structure supported continuation, no overhead resistance until the next liquidity pocket. This wasn't a random long. This was a high confidence, high probability setup backed by structure. Most traders lose their first trade of the day because they jump in before the market established direction. Here's how my system avoided that. The first go long scored 0 because the price was already near the VWAP's stretch level. That means the reward to risk ratio wasn't that great. So the system fire, caution, small position. This is a probe entry, tiny size, test the market. If price consolidate or retest opening range high and then bounce up, this is when you add more to your positions. If it goes against you, you exit fast, and that's exactly what it did. It fired its exit long right after the price dropped below the opening range high. Small probe, small loss, wait for the structure before going full side. Now, once this go long fire, the move was almost immediate. QQQ push off VWAP and never look back. Higher high, higher low, tremendous volume. Clean trend structure, no meaningful pullback. This is what happens when market clears liquidity and then releases the real move. My call options went 4x because the system didn't just catch the move. It avoided two traps that came before the move. Now, one last thing I want to highlight. The system took two small losses earlier in the day. But both were cut quickly. Both were disciplined exits. And that's exactly what allows us to stay focused and take full advantage of the high score setup later. Now, you don't need a high win rate to be profitable. You just need small losses, big winners, and the discipline to follow the system. Today was a perfect example of that. If you want to see this system fire signals in real time, no replays, no insight, I live stream every trading day at 6:30 a.m. Pacific. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you at the open.